Yes, Pragya, we are live.
So, welcome everyone. A very good evening to one and all present here. We'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes for everyone to join us for today's live session, and then we'll start up with our Google Cloud Career Program.
Oh, yes, Pragya, we can go ahead, I guess, now.
Okay, sir. So, a very warm welcome and a very good evening to one and all present here. I'm thrilled to have you all here today for our event on building your career with Google Cloud. This is an exciting opportunity for us to learn about the latest advancement in the field and how we can use them to enhance our skills and take our careers to the next level. Let's make the most of this opportunity and come away with valuable insights and practical tips to help us succeed. Thank you for joining us today, and let's begin. Before that, I would like to remind you all that all of your questions and query will be taken live and you will be able to ask them through our YouTube or Discord channel. Our team will be available to answer any questions you have and provide further information and support. So, for today's event, I'm honored to welcome our guest speaker for today, Harshad Kesavani, who is GDSC lead of Sharda University. He has facilitated 1,400 plus students in becoming Google Cloud ready. His insights and knowledge will be invaluable to us, and we learn about the latest developments and trends in the Google Cloud industry. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Harshad Kesarvani. Over to you, Harshad.
Thank you so much, Pragya, and thank you so much everyone for joining. I'm really happy to be here for you all and helping you all in the starting with the Google Cloud journey, or specifically we are going to talk about cloud. So feel free to have a interactive session. I will be trying my best to answer all your questions, whatever I have learned. So just a brief about me that Pragya has already given you. So I was Google Cloud Ready Facilitator during 2022. I'm a Google Cloud Certified Associate Cloud Engineer and also a Digital Cloud Leader. So yeah, this is just all. Super excited to get started with the session.
Thank you, Harshad. So, can you please brief us about what exactly Google Cloud is and how it is going to help us in our career?
Okay, so before going into Google Cloud, let's talk about what exactly is cloud computing. Then we can, understand better what is Google Cloud. So let's suppose, I think it's better to go with the presentation. I will be giving up a presentation, then we can, uh, talk about all those things and we can have questions. All right. So you have already shared it. Thanks. Thanks. Okay. So coming to this presentation, so what is the need of cloud computing? Basically, we need to talk what exactly is the need of cloud computing. So let's just take an example of traditional e-commerce scenario. So as you all know that there are multiple e-commerce websites, be it Amazon, be it Facebook, and be it XYZ. So all these platforms, all these services run on a server or run on a cloud platform where all these things are working. When we talk about a traditional e-commerce site, there are multiple things which we need to take care of. First is traffic, As you all know that e-commerce site hit a huge traffic during the peak hours and during the sales. And of course, they have a huge data. They have to manage the payment gateway. They have to manage the security. So this is a very big thing which they need to take care of. Now, what are the major problems they face? If suppose if you are an e-commerce company owner, what you will do? What are the problems that you will be facing? Of course, there are tons of data. There are millions of users that are surfing your website. So there is a huge database and there is a huge need of security. And if we talk about database and security, if we talk about hardware specifically, then we need a hardware which is efficient enough. Of course, that will be costing us much. Now, again, coming to another thing, we have to also manage servers. For placing our servers, we need to get some place where we can put it in our room or in it somewhere. So we need space for that also. And of course, fast processing and fault tolerance. This is a really big thing. Suppose there is a ongoing sale on Amazon, and all of a sudden the server goes down. Then what you are going to do? The company will at least bear $1 million of loss. So this is how things work. Those who are not aware of servers, how servers look like, so just go to your kitchen and give a look to fridge. It almost same. Now, what is the solution? Basically, the solution is cloud computing. Why I'm saying that this is a solution, because database security is something which is already given by the cloud service providers. We don't have to think about that. Along with that, you can have a remote access to the services, and it also provides fast computation. And when we talk about scalability and elasticity, so cloud computing provides us dynamically scalable servers. What does dynamically scalable servers? I will be talking about that. But in short, whatever the on-premises server can provide us, all these features are available on cloud. For example, in on-premises we can store data. From on-premises we can host our website. From on-premises computer we can on-premises server we can run some softwares, and we can also get the insights of what is exactly is the traffic and what are the things which we are monitoring now. So all these things can be taken care of from that place only. So coming to a standard definition of cloud computing, which is generally asked in your examinations also. So cloud computing is nothing but the availability of computational resources over the internet. So this is a general definition, but here I have written something specific that cloud computing is on-demand availability of computational power, databases, storage application, and other IT resources. Now, coming to the cloud services, there are basically four things. If I majorly talk about cloud services, basically there are three things, and one is on-premises. On-premises is generally a server, what we call it as, and then we have this infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. This is a really important diagram. If we talk about the cloud service provider, which is Google Cloud. So see, if we talk about infrastructure as a service, then these four and sorry, five layers are need to be managed by customer, and rest of the things are managed by Google itself. What does that mean? Okay, take it take it easy. Let's suppose there is a server. Okay, there is an on-premises server. I'm just taking an example of your personal computer. Let it be your personal computer. On your personal computer, the Google is taking care of virtualization. Google is taking care of net network. Google is taking care of storage. Uh, so other things what I need to take care of is what data I need to store. What is the middleware? What operating system I want to use? What are the applications that I want to install on my personal computer? So this is how infrastructure as a service work. If we specifically talk about the Google Cloud, there are then compute engine. You people might have already been enrolled in the GCCP campaign, and you have already. I am assuming that you might have also worked on the Google Cloud platform. If not, I will just show you a live demo of that also. So yeah, example of infrastructure as a service can be compute engine. Then the next thing comes as platform as a service. Platform as a service is that where only application and data is need to be managed by user. The rest of the things are directly managed by the service provider, be it Google Cloud, be it AWS, be it Azure. Then last thing which comes is software as a service. Software as a service is nothing but simple softwares which are available on cloud. Uh, not on cloud, everything which we talk about. Maybe if you, I will say Google Cloud Suite or G Suite, which includes Gmail application, which includes Google Docs, which includes Google Sheets. So these are the examples of software as a service. Yeah. So there are various cloud providers. As Pragya asked me, what is Google Cloud? So coming to that particular question, there are various cloud service providers which provide all these services like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. Talking about the ranking, so on ranking, Google Cloud is the third most widely used uh, cloud platform. First one is Amazon, second one is Microsoft Azure, and third is Google Cloud Platform. Then we have IBM Cloud also, which is not okay. IBM Cloud is also here. So yeah, these are few examples of cloud service providers, and they have all those features. Like there is a similarity. If we talk about just taking an example of biscuit, there is a company Britannia which is offering us the cookies. There is also a company which is Parle-G which is offering us the cookies, and they're offering the same thing. Like for example, if we talk about a specific Cashew cookies, so both of these companies are offering the same thing, and there is a big chain. Same is the case with these cloud service providers, whether it is AWS, whether it is GCP, whether it is Azure. Now, why to go with Google Cloud? We will talk about this. Okay, so I think we should first know the prerequisites and all. Let's just you know cover it till here. I hope Pragya I was able to answer like what exactly is Google Cloud.
Thank you, Arshad, for answering the very basic question like what is cloud, Google Cloud Computing, and what exactly cloud computing is. Now, the very second question which comes to us is like, what is the future of cloud computing? How it is going to help us in the recent developments of this industry, and how we can implement it in our projects, and how we can implement it in our skill area.
Thank you so much, Pragya, for asking me this question. I really wanted to ask, like, I was really waiting to have this question on board. So, if we talk about Google Cloud or if we talk about cloud computing, so guys, cloud is future. When I say cloud is future, I talk about complete availability of computational resources on internet. I'm again and again repeating this sentence. So, okay, just taking an example, a very basic example. During 2020, I was having a i3 processor laptop of Lenovo, which is not something which is feasible for me now. I am using Virtual Box and I'm using Visual Basic Studio. I'm using VS Code, which is not practically possible to implement, which is not practically possible to use on my personal computer. All right. I was having a
Yes.
i3 processor laptop. Now I need a i5 processor laptop. So what I have to do? I have to buy a complete new PC. If I want to scale up my services, if I want to scale up my hardware services, I have to buy a complete new PC. My last laptop was of around 30,000. Now my new laptop is of around 60,000. Again, if we are talking about the same thing with respect to server, as I was talking about, like in the peak of hour of sales on e-commerce site, there is a huge traffic. To manage those huge traffics, if we want to scale up our services, we have to again buy a complete new server. We have to put some hard disk. We have to also give some network resources to that. And suppose someday, like not in the peak hours, for example, there is a big sale going on Flipkart, and there is nothing on Amazon. Then Amazon do not need those computational resources. In order to manage the elasticity, in order to manage the scalability, cloud is something which is really required. And if we go through the stats, around 61% of the companies in the world are investing on cloud, because cloud is something that most of the cloud service providers are giving you, that gives you a you know a very what I will say, a very big power on your hands. Like it give you anything, like if you want to scale up, if you want to scale down, if you want to monitor, these are something which you can do on premises also. But on premises, if you are talking about doing it on premises, it's really difficult. And if you talk about the server qualities, it's just like competing with Google by making your own software.
Exactly.
If we talk about the
Exactly.
security, yeah, if we talk about security, so talking about the security of data centers of Google, there Google provides a 7-layer security at their data center. So yeah, you can keep your on-premises server, but provide that at least 7 layer of security to compete with Google. So cloud is the future because scalability and rapid changing technologies are evolved, and these are provided by these cloud service providers, which we can use. So this is something which is going to be the future, and it is going on because if you talk about the stats, so Google Cloud certification, that is architect certificate, this is one of the highest paid certification in the entire globe right now in IT industry. Cloud architect certification of Google Cloud is the highest paid certification in IT industry. Even they are paid more than developers, even they are more paid more than coders. So yeah, this is all.
So, what is cloud computing? What are its future aspects of the cloud computing? Now, the question arises: what are the prerequisites to start in with cloud computing? What we need to know before starting with cloud computing?
Okay. See, there is nothing like prerequisite to get started with cloud computing, but yeah, cloud is generally all the cloud service providers except Azure majorly work on Linux servers. Even the Azure is have to work on Linux servers. So there is something like Cloud Shell, which is basically based on Linux. So I will say if you want to start with the cloud computing, you should have a good knowledge of database. You should have a good knowledge of operating system. You should have a good command on Linux. If you don't want to use that back screen, that command line interface, then you can go with the GUI interface. That is also feasible. But yeah, I will say if you want to get started with the cloud computing and if you want to make it a full-fledged career on this cloud, then definitely you should have a good knowledge of Linux, good knowledge of operating system, a bit of knowledge of networking, like what is subnet, what is IP, what is external IP, what is IPv4, what is IPv6. So these are some basics which you should be aware of before getting into cloud.
So, as Arshadya told us, what are the prerequisites in cloud computing, like operating system, Linux server, IP addresses, and all. But does a strong grip on programming languages necessary before we start with Google Cloud computing? Like, is it necessary
See,
we are very efficient in some or the other programming language?
okay, nice question, Pragya. So, talking about myself, I'm also not a five-star coder on CodeChef or Codeforces, but yeah, I'm a cloud engineer. So this is how things work at cloud. This is how things work. Like, yeah, you should have a basic knowledge of any of the scripting language because the scripting language is required to write automation scripts when we talk about the database, when we talk about the TensorFlow. Sorry, when we talk about the Terraform, when we talk about this virtual machines. So if you want to automate some stuff on cloud, definitely you need some language. Generally, most of the cloud service providers have option of two languages, which are scripting languages, and these two languages are widely used. One is JavaScript, second one is Python. And Python is my personally a favorite language. So any language, basically that should be a scripting language. You should have a basic knowledge of for loop, if else statement. This is enough, and a bit of libraries and some containerized things.
So,
That's more
Python
than enough.
basically is a very good to go language for beginners as well.
I will not go to that part because if we talk about to get starting with a language, we should majorly focus on C because if you will have a knowledge of C, then you can understand the basics and you can do most of the things by building the logics. When you talk about Python, so in Python there are most of the functionalities which are inbuilt and we are using it. For example, if you want to sort an array, we can simply write array dot sort or list dot sort. The list will be sorted, but what is the logic behind that? We will not able to understand that. So yeah, we can go with C first. And if we are specifically talking about the cloud computing, if you are mainly focusing on cloud computing, feel free to go with Python. Just learn intermediate Python, and you will be ready to land up on cloud.
So that was a very good answer from your side, Harshit. Now, coming on to the fifth question that I want to ask personally from my side, like what are some of the good programs for students to start in cloud computing? Like basically every beginners wants to get some programs, want to enroll themselves in some kind of program. So what are your suggestions on this question?
Okay, so I will say if you want to get started and if you want some few good programs regarding the cloud, we should first know which is the most student-friendly cloud platform. I think you all know the answer because we are Google ambassadors here. We will be talking about Google Cloud. I'm also wearing a hoodie of Google Cloud. So, yeah, coming on a serious note, like if we talk about a very beginner-friendly cloud computing service or cloud computing service provider, that is, for my personal perspective, that is AWS. And yeah, Google Cloud is also there, but from my personal perspective, I will say AWS is a very beginner friendly platform where you can start with. And there are multiple programs run by each of these service providers. Talking about specifically of Google Cloud, so there are so much of programs till last year we have 30 days of Google Cloud, which was majorly hosted by DSC. Again, this year we have GCCP, that is Google Cloud Career Practitioner Campaign. So you can enroll on that. Then we have a huge program which is run by the Google Cloud itself in India. That is Google Cloud Ready, Google Cloud Ready program, which I was the facilitator of. This program is a really huge program which is run by Google Cloud India, and they give you so much incentives and so much benefits on that. You can start with that. And if we talk about AWS specifically, so there are multiple portals on AWS also. One is AWS Educate, AWS Academy. So these are two platforms where you can start learning on cloud. And these two platforms are really, really awesome because if we talk about these two platforms, they have video lectures. They are giving you hands-on experience on the cloud also. So yeah, you can go through that also. And if we basically talk about Azure, then for Azure we have Azure Learning Portal of Microsoft itself. So summing up to all the things which I have talked about, for AWS we have AWS Academy, we have AWS Educate. Then for Google Cloud we have Cloud Skill Boost. Cloud Skill Boost credits can be given by the GDSC lead itself. So you can contact Aman. He will be helping you with getting the cloud credits uh, for the Cloud Skill Boost, and some major programs from which you can also get some benefits like some discount on the cloud certifications that are Google Cloud Ready, Google Cloud Career Practitioner Program. Then we have mm, Career Readiness Program of Google, which is a really, really awesome program. So yeah, this is all.
So thank you, Arshad, for sharing us some valuable resources on this topic, which is really great for our beginners who want to start up with this program. So, Harshad, can you give us the answer for this question? Like, which is the best cloud platform and why? Like, there's a question which comes in our mind. Like, people say AWS has a huge market, while GCP is still growing. So, what should we prefer? Where should we go as a beginner, and how we can handle with all this AWS and GCP? Where to go and from where to start off?
Okay. Just a simple question from you, Pragya. Like, if we talk about silver and gold, all right, then silver is widely available and silver is more ductile than gold, and of course, the silver is more stronger and silver has more benefit. So, which is better to bag, gold or silver? Obviously, the answer is gold. So this is the case again with the cloud platforms also. AWS and GCP, when we compare both of these services, AWS is in the market from last 12 years around. Yeah, around 12 years. I think more than 12 years. So AWS has a wide variety of you know resources and wide computational availability. And if we talk about features also, so AWS is at the top of the list. And then we have, if we talk about the Google Cloud, so Google Cloud is very new to the market. It is still growing, but the stats itself explain that why we should go with GCP or AWS. I would not say why we should go with GCP. I am not favoring any particular cloud platform. It's all up to you, like which platform you like. It's all like you can also go with AWS. You can, shockingly, I would like to tell you that Fortune 500 companies, most of the Fortune 500 companies use Microsoft Azure, which even we are not
Hmm.
talking about here. So this is something which really depends on what are the things you need. Uh, from industrial perspective, I will say this is just my personal idea. I would not say this is a complete truth, but whatever the I have used, like I have used Google Cloud, I have also used AWS, and I have just gone through Azure a bit. So I have read also somewhere like AWS is good for infrastructure. No doubt, the best infrastructure platform is AWS. Then we have, if we talk about this platform as a service, then no one can beat Google Cloud on that. Again, if we
Exactly.
talk about software as a service, then there is Azure. Why I say that Azure is the best for software as a service? Because this presentation is even made by PowerPoint, which is software as a service of Azure. So this is how things work. I will say there is no good or bad platform, but right now stats are saying that Google Cloud is growing, and maybe Google Cloud can acquire the market. The reason I'm saying this because Google Cloud learners are increasing day by day. From last 2 years, there is 4x increase in the Google Cloud learners in India. Most of the Google Cloud engineers in the globe are only from India. Around 17% of the workforce of complete Google Cloud service providers, not specifically on GCP, on GCP based companies and partners, Indians are working. And just if you see the growth chart, if you see the market share and all, GCP is acquiring the market. And just to support my answer, I will say architect certificate of AWS was not the most valuable certificate in the IT industry. The most valuable certificate, which is giving you around 70 lakhs per annum, is Google Cloud Architect certification. So I think
That's great.
you all
Great.
have got the answer. Yeah.
So, Harshit, now coming on to our next question. What are the job
Okay.
roles and how one can start with their journey in the field of cloud computing, like certification and all? Basically, what is the job sector area for cloud computing?
Okay. So certifications, I will be talking about certifications first, then we will be coming up to the job roles what are available. So for certifications, I have
Okay.
yeah, completed cloud digital leader, I have completed associate cloud engineer. So you can note it down even that for for Google Cloud, let's start with the beginner level. So for Google Cloud, the basic certification of Google Cloud is Cloud Digital Leader. Cloud Digital Leader explains you what are the business requirements. If a person is certified Digital Cloud Leader, that means he will be able to explain you what are the business requirements. How what if you this is a business requirement, then you can use this particular Google Cloud service to solve your problem. Let's suppose I want to store the relational database. I have some no okay, let's suppose you are a client and you come to me and say I have data of my mm, feedback data where I can store,
Hmm.
and I am a digital certified cloud leader. Then I will say okay, you can store it on cloud SQL. I can just an example, not specifically cloud SQL is a better option. There are multiple options on talking about the storage services. This is a basic certification, and it cost around 6,000,
Hmm.
less than 6,000. Then the second level of certification is associate cloud engineer. Digital cloud leader will explain what you can do. Now, associate cloud engineer will do that for you. You say, I want to store this data of my e-commerce site, which service I have to use, and how we can do that. So, associate cloud engineer is someone who will be able to practically perform that on Google Cloud. Now, coming to the AWS part. On AWS, we have AWS Practitioner, which is the basic certification of AWS Practitioner. Uh, Cloud Practitioner Certificate, yeah. Cloud Practitioner Certificate is the basic certification of AWS platform, which gives you a basic knowledge, like it's almost like associate cloud engineer, where you have to, some prior experience on Google Cloud, AWS platform. Then coming up to Azure, for Azure we have AZ 900, which is the basic certification for Azure. Now, I have already talked about these four certification. I want to give you some more details on that. If we talk about digital cloud leaders, so 2 months are enough if you are working on Google Cloud on a proper note, not only copying the labs, then definitely you can clear digital cloud leader certification. And there is a validity of 3 years from now. This has been changed just 2 months back. From now onwards, there will be a validity of 3 months on each and every certification. For digital cloud leader, it's 3 years. Again, for associate cloud engineer, it's 3 years. Now, I'm not sure about the AWS, but for AZ900, there is no validity. It's valid for lifetime. There is no like expiry date for that. For if you want to talk about the associate cloud engineer, you have to at least give 6 months on Google Cloud. Then you can, uh, get clear the associate cloud engineer certification exam. Now, coming up to the job roles. Sorry, I was in, I think I just need to check the time. All right. So we have enough time. So
Yes, we have.
talking about the job roles in the market. So there are multiple job roles. There is job role in the sales market. Then we have network engineers. Then we have sales managers. Then we have data engineers. Then we have cloud data engineers. Then we have AI. Whatever the job roles are, whatever the job roles are, be it tester, be an engineer, be it a data scientist, be it an AI engineer, all these job roles are right now aligned with the cloud platforms, because most of the big FANG companies and even Capgemini or whatever these consulting companies are, these all are working on cloud. So whatever your area of interest, it may it be data science, may it be machine learning, may it be basic coding, you can be a cloud developer also. And if you want to specifically use the cloud services to build something, then I will say first go for associate, then go for cloud architect. These are the people who use these services to architect an application. And if you want to develop cloud, then go for cloud developer. This is an option which you can choose. And again, I already talk about that. If you're interested in networking, then you can become a cloud network engineer. If you're interested in AI, then you can become a cloud AI engineer. If you talk about this database, then you can become a database engineer. Yeah, so this is all.
So, Harshit, the main key takeaways that I took about these certificates and all, which I personally wrote down, like from Google Cloud, we have Cloud Digital Leader certification, Associate Cloud Engineer certification. From AWS, we have AWS Cloud Practitioner certificate. And coming on to the Azure, we have AZ900.
Yeah.
And the job opportunities, as you told, that Google Cloud has a like a list of opportunities in job sector. So,
Yeah,
thank you, Harshit,
not
for answering this
specifically.
question.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but not specifically Google Cloud. It's all about all the cloud platforms, be it AWS, be it Azure, be it Google Cloud. So all these are offering all these kind of job roles, from networking to database to AI. So this is same for every platform. But yeah, we are specifically talking about GCP. Then yeah, these are the job roles for GCP also. And there are different certification for these fields also. You can explore it more, and I will recommend you to explore it more, because that will give you some insights. Like I have already talked about 3 certifications. There are more and more certifications. Around 16 certifications are offered by Google Cloud. So yeah, please explore.
Okay. Thank you, Harshit. Now, can I ask you one question? Like, can you please tell us about your personal projects on Google Cloud? Like any of the project you are currently working, or you want to share with our listeners?
Sure. See, for GCCP Google Cloud Career Practitioner campaign, we have built a small project in our college, and I would like to give you just a brief, like how things work on a cloud platform. So I
Sure,
don't have
sure.
credits on my own account. I will be using my friend's account, because from that only we have done that. Okay. So I just want to give you a overview of like how cloud platform looks and what are the different services. I have two of my friends' account which I have already taken specifically for this session to show you guys like
Okay.
what how exactly this looks like. So this is a typical Google Cloud platform. you might have already worked on Cloud Skill Boost, so you have might be already aware of how this looks like. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it's with Harshit.
Yeah, thanks for confirming. So coming to the Google Cloud, I would like to get started with the basics of this platform. This is the first page which opens generally. This is called as the dashboard. Then we have a project name here. Then we have a project ID. Project name can be anything. This is not unique, but project ID is always unique. So selecting this project. Now we have different services offered on Google Cloud. As I was talking about the compute engine, so this is an example of infrastructure. Sorry, this is an example of infrastructure as a service from where we can create VM instances. What does VM instances mean? It is nothing, just your personal computer over cloud. You can choose the operating system. Okay, why not? I'm showing you. So I don't know. It's taking a bit of time. You can create an instance here. Alright, so I don't have a manage billing account active here. Let me try with some other account. So all these things are majorly based on APIs. So we have to enable some APIs, before started working on these things. So once you set up your account, first you have to select the GCP project. You have to give a name to your project. Then there will be a unique, globally unique ID, which will be given to you. You can also edit that, but again, that should be unique. From that, you can start it. You can start working. Maybe I don't have credits, but okay, let me try to show as much as I can. So talking about the infrastructure as a service on Google Cloud, we have Compute Engine. Then talking about the different type of storage options, we have cloud storage. Cloud storage is used for BLOB, that is binary large object storage. If we talk about binary large object storage, this is just photos, videos, and all that can be stored on cloud storage. Then we have Cloud SQL. This is another example of storage option which is available on Google Cloud. Then talking about the platform as a service, we have a fantastic option here. This is called as Cloud Run, and Cloud Run is something where you just have to give code and complete scalability, like elasticity. For example, you have a huge load on your server that will be managed by Cloud Run. If you have no load on your server, you will not be costed, and that will be on idle stage. All right, so API is enabled. Let me just create a small VM instance for you all and show you how things work, what are the billing things and how each and everything work. Okay, so I'm writing it as GDSC. This is just a name. Now we have to select regions and zones. So there are multiple regions available across the globe, and there are different zones. Now this is the series of CPU. Okay, series of CPU. Then we have version 2 with how much RAM we are working in. So we are using here 4 GB of RAM. Let's just go to 1 GB. Again, so this is the boot disk which we are using. The size of boot disk is 10 GB and we are using Debian Linux. We can change it also. There are different type of operating system options available here. Let's suppose I want to use Windows Server. We can also go with that Windows Server. Then we can select which particular edition of Windows Server we want to use. Then we can also select which kind of storage option we want to use. There are different options like standard, persistent disk, SSD, extreme persistent. So these are different options. Right now, this is size of 50 GB. Now I'm just giving it 10 GB. I don't know if the image size is larger than that. All right, the image size is about 50 GB itself, so I have to give more. Let's take in 100. And even we can upload our own operating system from here. I will be not digging that much deep, but yeah, you can do that as well. Now we have firewall options like what kind of traffic do you want to allow? So we have HTTP, HTTPS traffic, and this is the costing. Like this will cost you about $0.02 hourly. So if we talk about infrastructure as a service, if we take something, it's like we are renting. For example, I have rented a cycle from you. I am using it or not using it. I have to pay for that. So this is how
Yeah.
infrastructure as a service works. So it will cost me around 0.02 hours, $0.02 hourly. Even if that cycle is at idle state, same is the case with VM. Even if the VM is at idle still, I have to pay. But when it comes to platform as a service, most of the service provider use give us this chronology. Like if the services are under utilization or if there is an any load at the service, then it will be charged, else it will not be charged. So I will not be creating with a BM because I have to at least, pay some around $1. So I don't want to create an
That
expense here.
that's okay from your side. Thank you for such a very brief session on Google Cloud with project implementation also. And
Yeah,
one
I want
way,
to show a project also. Yeah, okay, just let me just go with the project thing.
sure,
So
if you
this
can
is just
give
a
us a
project.
brief about the project.
Okay, so this is just a project like which is done by our uh, nearby college ABSIT people.
Okay, okay.
So what we have done in this project, what exactly they have done in this project, they have deployed this project on cloud storage. If you will go through the costing, all the companies are majorly focusing on decreasing the cost of their computation. So
Hmm.
here, the cost of computation will be very much low if you are going to use the cloud storage. So let me just go. So public URL is here. You can post it and a web page will open. This is just a demo web page which they have made. So yeah, you can do that as well. So this is super easy. I just want to tell all the folks like if you want to create a website and you want to host it on cloud storage, ideally it is not recommended. You can host a static website which has only front end implemented on it using cloud storage. So you can do that. So what you have to do, just you have to create a bucket which should be of a globally unique name. You have to give a global unique name, then you have to just click on create and you have to upload your entire project on cloud. And I'm assuming that you might have already be aware of that index is the main file. So you have to copy the index file and that's done. You have hosted your website on Google Cloud. This is super easy. And it will only cost you 0.026 GB per month. Comparing to the virtual machine, if we'll be doing same with the virtual machine, just calculate how much that will be costing to us. So yeah, this is how things work at Google Cloud.
Thank you, Harshad, for making all these things super easy for us. Although it's time, but one very last question from my side, Harshad. What made you inspired to pursue a career in Google Cloud? That's a personal question from my side that you can take over.
Okay, okay, all right. So from my first year itself, I was not aware of so much of things. So I started doing Python. I was doing Python during my first year, and then I applied. I saw something like, okay, there is something called as Google Cloud. All right. And I was very much curious like okay what it is, what how I can do something in it. So I also explored a bit and then I came to know all right that AWS is the biggest cloud service provider and you don't have to code. The first thing which comes to my mind that you don't have to be a five-star coder to get started. So I enrolled myself in AWS nano degree of Udacity. I applied for the scholarship and luckily I got selected. So I started doing AWS there. And one day I was just surfing from the website and I saw Google Cloud Carrier Ready program. I applied to become a facilitator there. Let's try. Let's give it a try. I applied it in the first year and I got the reply from them in my third year. So in between my second year, there was 30 days of Google Cloud program. I enrolled to just explore the things because I was exploring most of the fields. I enrolled there to see, okay, how the things work, because I was only aware of Python, and I was like, after my research, I came to know that, okay, Python is fine. You need database. I was also aware of database. Then coming to operating system, I was also aware of operating system a bit because of my college curriculum. Then I also got to know, okay, you need to know few of Linux commands. So I just used Linux as my primary operating system on my PC for 2 3 months. I got to know basic Linux command. Then I get started with the Google Cloud. And when I was helping students to get Google Cloud ready, it was a seriously tedious job for me. Around 14 helping 1400 students was really difficult. So during that time, what for, there are multiple labs on this Cloud Skill Boost platform. So me, along with my co-facilitator Akash, what we do, people come to us like, this is not working, this is not working, this is not working. So we have to, create the same bug at our own PC to see, okay, why this is not working, why this is not working. So by doing so, I become, that become a habit for us. Like for after 5 to 6 times, we were able to see, okay, this is the error. You might have done this thing wrong. So this is
Hmm.
how I personally explored the Google Cloud, and this is how I, got interested in Google Cloud.
That was a super exciting journey of yours by clearing all the doubts and coming into Google Cloud. So that was the last question for today's session. Thank you, Harshit, for answering all my questions so patiently.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much, Aman.
sharing
Thank
your
you, Pragya.
time and knowledge with us. It is greatly appreciated, Harshit.
Thank you so much for calling me. Thank you so much, Aman. Thank you so much, Pragya, and thank you so much each and every one of you who are here to listen me patiently. And I will be available to help. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can have your doubts with me. Thanks.
So, as we come to the end of this event, I want to express my sincerest gratitude to all of you for being a part of it. Your participation and engagement have made this event a great success. We hope that you have gained valuable insights and knowledge on building your career with Google Cloud, and that you are leaving this event with a renewed sense of motivation and inspiration towards Google Cloud. We want to thank our guest speaker, Harshit Kesarwani, for sharing his wealth of knowledge and expertise. We hope you enjoyed this event and we look forward to see you at our future events. Thank you once again for being a part of today's meet. Till then, we'll meet you in the other session. Feel free to contact our team for queries and doubts, and the recording of this video will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.